So I've had quite a few people message me, reach out to me in some way or another, discussing Stoicism. They'll say something along the lines of, hey, I like your channel, but I think you need to be a little more stoic. Or the approach to the toxic women we have in our society should be Stoicism. And I'm going to say in this video the same thing that I always say to them, and that is that I completely disagree with that. Nothing against Stoicism. There's a time and a place for Stoicism. But Stoicism itself should be saved for when you're alone, thinking, pondering, brainstorming. Stoicism is calmness, not showing any emotion, and honestly being a bit passive, being quiet and passive. I would argue Stoicism is the last thing that we need at this point in time. With all the shitty behavior in our society, with how bad the dating market is, the way so many women are becoming so toxic and masculine and destructive, Stoicism is going to be very passive. Stoicism would be sitting there quietly and saying, not going to let it faze me while the world around you crumbles. No, I disagree. We don't need Stoicism right now. We need more noise. We need men that are tired of being quiet, that are going to get up and say, you know what? This is my world. This is my country. I'm not putting up with this anymore. This shit's going to stop. That's what we need. We have too much stoicism. We have intelligent, strong men that are being too stoic, too quiet, too calm, too reserved, and too passive. Right now in our society, this might sound dramatic to some of you, we do have a war going on. We have a bit of a war going on between men and women in the dating market and whatnot. And that is because too many good men have sat back while our popular culture just praises absolute dog shit, garbage behavior, dog shit, garbage language, garbage ideas, all of it. And we've just sat back as men and said, NMP, not my problem. You do you. Not my problem. If those women want to act like that, let them. Well, guess what? Those are your sisters. Some of you, they're your mothers, they're your aunts. They're your ex-girlfriends, sometimes your girlfriends, your daughters. Enough with the sitting back and being stoic. I have nothing against stoicism, but right now in the state of this country, in the state of the world for that matter, many would argue that it's too late. Like this, we are a sinking ship. But I still say we go out swinging. That's just my motto. I'm not going to lay down and die. I'm going to fight to get mine or I'll die trying. I'm going to fight to fix this or I'll die trying. For some reason, I'm not going to say we enabled things to get this bad, but we have kind of let go. As men, we have kind of let go of our women around us, our children around us. We've kind of just let popular culture, trashy popular culture, lead the way. We've just let it lead the way. And we've let the media's gaslighting, the propaganda, the woke bullshit, we've let it kind of beat us into submission. And there's guys like me that don't agree with that nonsense. But most of the guys like me, they won't say anything. They still let the garbage media, the woke nonsense, they still let that sit in the driver's seat of their life and the lives of all the women around them and all the children around them. They let that nonsense sit in the driver's seat and drive this ship of ours straight into an iceberg, Head on with some object that's going to destroy us. So no, I don't think men need to be more stoic and quiet and observant. There's a time and a place for that. It's a good trait to have, but I would argue as a man, you need to know when to speak up. And right now, with our society the way it is, specifically like the dating market and how trashy most women are, even most of these good women you guys have married, their past is probably a lot worse than you think. That's not okay. That's not normal. It's not normal for these, 18-year-old girls, even give or take a few years, to be making gross jokes about gross corn movies and all these extremes that they're watching. It's not normal for women to be vulgar and trashy and over-sexualized, reciting garbage lyrics from garbage artists that everyone wants to promote and praise. We as men are letting garbage pop culture sit in the driver's seat of our neighborhoods, our cities, our states, our country. We're letting the woke bullshit sit in the driver's seat. So no, we don't need stoicism. We need louder men. They're going to put their foot down. That's what we need. And I'm sure YouTube and many others aren't going to like this message because they're going to think it sounds relatively extreme. But I don't care. I have no problem losing subscribers. I've said that 1,000 times. I don't give a shit. I would much rather build a community here of people that I agree with and I see eye to eye with. I'm not interested in putting on a fake act like 99% of the YouTube channels out here just to try to make money. And I'm not even knocking them because I get it. You're doing this to make money. Well, I don't care about the money as much as I care about helping people. I'm not bullshitting you when I say that. So I need to be honest with myself and honest with you guys in the things that I say. And if people don't like it, unsubscribe because I don't want you here anyways. I don't need the views. I don't want the views. I don't want people here that, don't see eye to eye with me. The world we live in is very divided. Whether I like that, whether you like that, whether any of us like that, the world we live in is extremely divided. You can still be nice to people. You can still be a gentleman. You can still do all that. But you need to speak up when you see something wrong going on. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. Stop letting whatever boogeyman you want to blame, stop letting them pull these strings with the gaslighting and the shaming and the canceling. Fuck them. That's what I say. Fuck them. This is your world. These are your daughters. These are your sons. These are your sisters and your mothers and your aunts, your ex-girlfriends, maybe current girlfriends. When you see bad behavior run amok the way it is today, I hope to God your only thought is not, just be quiet. Not my business. Let it happen. I'm sorry, dude. I can't ever agree with that. I can't get down with that. I can't go along with that. It's not going to happen. I see a society full of young women, for the most part, that are not girlfriend material. They are not marriage material. They are not mother material. And like I've said before, I think the birth rate crisis has been going on probably since the 70s. I could be wrong, but I think from my research around the 70s, this has been going on since the 70s, like the replacement rate being an issue. But it's really bad now. It's really, really bad now. So being quiet and letting this bullshit that I can't stand consume me like a tidal wave without trying to fight it just doesn't sit well with me. I'm not going to do that. So again, yeah, I get stoicism. There's a time and a place for stoicism. And I have my stoic moments when I'm sitting alone and I'm thinking and brainstorming and plotting and planning. But there's also a time to take action. There's a time to call a spade a spade. There's a time to get mad. There's a time to pound your fist. There's a time for action. We don't only need stoicism 24/7. Because right now, when you're sitting there being stoic, the degenerate, shitty world around you is running amok like a wild circus that's out of control. And it's happening in your backyard, in your living room, on your TV screen, on the screen of your phone, at your local mall, everywhere around you. More people need to speak up. So that's my answer to that. I get it. I love Stoicism as well, but there's a time and a place for it. But there's also a time and a place to say enough is enough and call out the bullshit and start fighting back to try to save this, to try to save these women that are going down a shitty path, try to save the young men that are blind to it, that have been propagandized and brainwashed into going along with this bullshit. I think it's got to stop. So yeah, I wanted to shed a little light on that because yeah, guys, I hear it from a lot of you guys about stoicism, being more stoic and being more calm. I get that, but I think there's a time and a place for it. There's also a time and a place to get loud. Hopefully that made a little sense to you guys.